There is a new trend in the career space. Maybe you've already heard of it. It's called quiet quitting. And I want to share with you what's going to happen if you follow this advice. And so, quiet quitting, what does it mean? Basically, it's the idea that you will only do as much as you're being paid for. Obviously, most people feel like they're being undervalued at work. And so the idea is that you stop going above and beyond and you just do the bare minimum. Now, this is gaining a lot of traction on social media. A lot of people are saying it's a kind of silent protest where you don't actually quit your job because obviously you need the paycheck, but you just stop doing so much work and you do the bare minimum to get by. You don't try to be a superstar. Now, this advice is good in practice, and people are talking more about boundaries, not working past 5 p.m., all of that kind of thing. But where this advice can go wrong is the idea that your job is something that, you have to do it because you need the paycheck, but you're being treated unfairly, but you have to show up anyway, and you just do the bare minimum and you go home. That is going to get you fired. And a lot of people think that they're not replaceable in their jobs or that their jobs are super safe, but that is not the case. No matter how safe you think your job is, layoffs can and will and do happen. Your department can get a reorganization, posts can be abolished, all kinds of things can happen, and your job that you thought was safe might not be as safe as you thought. So that's the first thing that can happen. The second thing is that, well, actually further to that point, when layoffs do happen, the first people to go, even if you're doing your job and you think nobody really notices that you are doing the minimum, people do notice. And when the layoffs happen, guess who the first people will be to go? It's the ones who have been quietly quitting their jobs. So that's the first thing. But let's just pretend that your job is not in danger and that you can do this quiet quitting thing and just do the bare minimum, and then just focus on enjoying your life after work and stop caring so much about your job, take the paycheck, go home. To a lot of people, that sounds good in theory. But here's what really happens, and I've seen this happen to a large number of people. In fact, I've even experienced this myself. I've had jobs before where I tell myself, you know what, let's just do the job, go home. I've experimented with this. I'm like, I'm just going to enjoy my life and just not take my job so seriously anymore and just try to get by, right? And it doesn't work. You know what it does is it degrades your confidence and your sense of self, and that is the most important asset you have. How do you think it's going to make you feel if tomorrow and every day after that you go into your job thinking it's just a job, I don't really care, I'm just doing the minimum, whatever? It sounds empowering at first, but you're going to see that as the days go by, it is anything but empowering. You start to shift your identity, and there's no way you can't just tell yourself, oh no, that won't happen to me. I'm not going to shift my identity. I'm going to stay this confident go-getter while at work I'm just doing the minimum. No, your identity, in order to do that, is going to have to shift into the kind of person who does bare minimum. And then what starts to happen is not only does your employer see you that way, but you see yourself that way. This is who you are now, the kind of person who gets by and does bare minimum. You will even respect yourself if you start doing that. And it's really detrimental as well to your future career prospects, because then when you finally say, look, I am actually going to get a new job and get paid better and all that kind of thing, you've now created this identity for yourself of someone who honestly isn't that great at their job. And so even you are wondering, why would anyone want to hire me? And you can try to hype yourself up and everything, but if you've been showing up every day, not as the kind of person who gets a great job, but as someone who just gets by, that will affect your career prospects, and worst of all, it'll affect your own sense of confidence, your own sense of self. So that is the worst thing you can possibly lose, is your confidence. And with a loss of confidence comes a loss of money as well. People who lack confidence get paid less. So it's going to derail the whole rest of your life as well. Don't let that happen to you. Don't be a quiet quitter. What you want to do instead is, if in your job you feel like you're not being valued, you need to take steps to rectify the situation. Because I agree, being in a job where you're not valued, and just working and hoping one day they'll start to value you, that also is going to destroy your confidence. So you don't want that either. It's not about continuing to work really, really hard, waiting for the day they will value you, which they will not. If you're not being valued at your job, it is one of two things. Either A, you're not promoting and branding yourself adequately where you are. So maybe you're one of those people who works really hard, does amazing things, but not enough people know about it, or they've forgotten, or they don't notice it in the right way. So you need to be making sure you have a great reputation. You need to put some effort into not only hard work, but also making sure you are building up your brand and your reputation through networking and, social media, all of that kind of thing. You need to be advocating for yourself. I know a lot of people don't like to sell themselves, so what I show my clients how to do is how to do that in a really authentic, non-weird way, but you still get noticed and you still get valued. The second thing you need to do, so let's say that doesn't work in your workplace, it's just the wrong environment. You need to get yourself into the right environment where they do value you. Sometimes, no matter what you do in your current environment, they're just never going to see your value. It's not the right place. They just want you to work hard, and they really don't appreciate you. It's time to go elsewhere. Find that employer, find that team that actually appreciates you, pays you for it, and loves you for what you do, and just great vibes all around. So that's the second solution, that you might just need to go and get yourself a better job. But you are in charge. Quiet quitting, protesting. What are you protesting? No employer is going to notice the protest. At the end of the day, we all want to feel like we're not replaceable, and like, oh, I will show them, I will just stop doing my work and let's see what, then maybe they'll notice me. Or if I quit my job, then maybe my employer will realize how valuable I am. Unfortunately, that rarely happens, not because they didn't need you, and sometimes they can spend ages trying to replace you and it's difficult, but they'll never admit to themselves that they needed you, right? They'll always say, oh, I guess it just wasn't a fit. Well, we can do without that person. They'll always, everyone wants to appease their own ego, including the employer, so they will just say, well, whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. They also want to think short term, not long term. So they're not thinking about the day when you might quit. They're not thinking about what's going to happen down the line. They're not thinking about any of that. They're just thinking that right now we need to get the job done. This person needs to do their job, and that's it. So my point is, you still need to find your high value skill set. You need to find that highly paid work you love. That's the only way to get yourself valued. It's not by attempting to do a silent protest. And obviously, if you need help getting yourself valued, feel free to reach out to me. I have an 8-week program where I help you to do exactly that, where I take you from figuring out what your high value skill set is in the marketplace, all the way to getting yourself out there, branding yourself, and then getting yourself in front of the right employers so that you can get yourself that job that not only pays you really, really well, but that you're also excited to do. So let me know if you're interested in that. And otherwise, let me know below, what do you think about the quiet quitting trend?